Tornadoes, trucking, thunderstorms. I don't know. It's been an interesting couple of days. Well, let's chat about it. I know some of you are out there in this crappy weather up in Indiana and hopefully not up in Michigan. And anyhow, let's get to it in just a second.
Paying too much for trucking insurance? What if you could save more by making one simple phone call and keep more profit? You could very well do just that with one simple call to Seabright Agency, 800-366-6466. Call now.
Now here's a question that all owner-operators and small fleet owners should consider. What happens when you access the unrivaled advantages that are available through the ES Advantage program? We asked Jeff and Charley from Contractors Corner to share their thoughts on how they've been able to utilize the discounts and services that are a part of the ES Advantage.
Your business will make you money if you do well at that business. And ES Advantage in trucking, they do really well at providing those services. So the effect that ES has had on our personal trucking operations, not even talking about what we do on the consulting arena, I've been able to save thousands of dollars a year in fuel because of the relationship with them. I have a new accountant that I work with, trucker CFO, that I learned about from ES Advantage.
They're giving you that 10,000 yard kind of support from behind that creates a way for you to succeed, which is one of the things that we love, because anything you can do to help someone succeed is going to help them succeed. They make money by making sure you make money.
Now, if you're an owner-operator or small fleet owner and you would like to learn more about how you can drive savings to the bottom line of your business, the ES Advantage program has the discounts and services that deliver the kind of unrivaled advantages that are designed to help you improve your overall operation. Get connected with the ES Advantage today.
It's opposite day. I'm just going to point that out.
Oh, crap. No.
Charlie's in his truck and I'm at the house.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's like legit right there. I don't even know how to act right now. Like, oh, dude, it's been such a long day. Like, seriously. Like, I'm pretty sure the gods were sending tornadoes after me and Rosie last night. Whichever god it is that they were after me last night. I'm just saying it. Insignificant little me, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Joplin. Ah,
So that would be Thor, just so you know.
whatever. I'm gonna smack him with his hammer, bro. This ain't cool.
And
And now they're talking about later tonight here in Ohio.
and just so everybody knows, in the original Norse myths, Thor was pretty much just a big dumb jock.
Well, you know what? Look, Trucker Tim was first tonight.
Well, according to Chris Hamilton, the other guy with a million excuse. No, Chris Hamilton's the guy with the 2 million excuses today, because he
Oh,
said, "Charlie, it's your fault."
that's fair. I was texting him. It was true. I was texting him. I responded to him, and I posted it live while I was texting him. So I probably distracted him. It's not fair.
Right.
Whatever. Get over it. You're second, Chris. Jeez. Good God. People today are something else. We were doing math earlier. That was fun in the chat before the show. James and I, and Matt Nissen was here too. Craig's up in yucky stuff. James Vaughn is here. Let's see. I'm scrolling. Sorry, scrolling. Oh yeah, there's a lot of math going on right there. Let me skip past that. Some negative Nancy Wimpy McPote stuff. I like that. That's fun. God, what's it like being such a downer all the time? I don't get it, man. That's cool. Whatever, man. Craig, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Hey, stay safe over there, dude. I was just watching Max Velocity stuff, bro, and it is nasty up there. If you're up in that spot, I think you're at. It is not cool.
So before we get too far into the show, Charlie, did I see
Yeah,
that
bro.
right? Craig sent us a message, and a good friend to owner operator truckers passed away.
Bro, yeah, that was crazy.
One of the guys at Pittsburgh Power that,
Yeah,
man, when you
Pete.
when you called Pete, when you called them and asked for technical advice, he was the man.
Like that's the guy I would call him, and they're like, you know what? Talk to Pete. I'm like, how exactly does the OPS work? How does it function? What's the actual mechanic? That dude knew everything. Could tell you how to hook it up to whatever motor you had. Just it was insane, man. I don't even understand. He's not that old a dude, and that's freaky stuff, man. I don't know what happened. Uh,
Yeah, when I was installing
Thoughts out
mine,
to those folks.
installing mine on the DD15, there's a positive pressure cap on the side of the oil pump, right?
Right.
I was having a hard time getting it off, and I actually called Pittsburgh Power, and he's like, "You're not gonna break anything. You're not that strong. It will come out." So yeah, that's kind of sad for everybody, I think.
Yeah, like for real. Like that's a loss, man. Sorry for his family. I know those people aren't watching this, but man, that's harsh. Hey, Barb, good to see you. Let's see. Hey, TK, what's going on, buddy? With your
Oh, is
typical
TK
bah
up here?
humbug. I don't know why he does that, but whatever.
It's just to
Bless you.
bother you. It's because you say, "Why do you do that?" And he's like, "I gotta do that again."
I know, right? Trucker Dan. I'm trying to get caught up. Sorry. Oh, I
Chris,
don't understand.
the pups are. If you guys didn't catch the show last week, I've got two new pups that I got from Ismail, and if he's watching, I'm
He's right
working on
there, bro.
I'm getting some videos ready to send you of them meeting the kids. So the kids really love them. However, they take about 2 days. We figured out to get used to anybody new. They're very very suspicious dogs. But Donna kind of has this thing where she tells me that they're your dogs because no matter what, when Dad comes on the scene, they're right there next to me.
Right.
They could be having fun with someone else, but if I walk in the room, they're on me.
Oh, let's see. Oh, wrong button. I can't click on stuff. Present. What's up, Sean? Uh, Truth hurts. Wimpy, bro. Really? Come on. I think you're hilarious sometimes. Sometimes not so much, but whatever. I-80 is crazy. TK said.
Yeah, we got
Oh,
snow yesterday and the day before in the Utah Valley. It was weird.
we have friends in Facebook. That's fun,
That's our number one fan, dude.
dude. Right?
They're little bitty schnauzers, James. James asked me what breed of dogs they are. They're
Pancreatic cancer. Oh,
what? Who? Where?
sorry,
What?
Pete.
Oh, is that what got him?
That sucks. Sorry, jumping around. There's a lot going on right now. This is kind of interesting. Sorry, James was asking. My bad.
Yeah, they're little bitty schnauzers. Like, well, they have schnauzer in them. The shot records say schnauzer, but they're tiny. They're only like this
They're
big.
awesome. They are awesome.
And I have told Donna that it's not my fault that I brought dogs home from Phoenix. It was Rosie. She made me. She was going to cut
Yes,
me if I didn't take them.
yes, it was all rosy for sure.
Right now, we're trying to get him to not
Oh,
chase the ducks around. So I learned something about ducks, Charlie.
oh, geez.
Ducks rhyme with trucks, so this is kosher. Ducks will take their wing and gib smack a dog. Just
I like it.
whack. So these two little guys think they're big dogs because that's what little dogs think, right? And they're
Right.
like chasing the ducks around, and one of them just turned around, got her wing out, and went whap.
You know what? That's what a dog needs every now and then. It's like
and I'm
most
like,
dudes. Let's be real.
and I'm like, I told you, leave the
Right?
ducks alone
Did they back off?
for about 2 seconds. They won't bite them though. It's weird. They just chase them around. They're not like aggressive towards them. They just like to chase them around.
Right.
But one other thing too is the ducks when they're being chased, they go into their house. So I think we found a job for them at
Excuse me.
night. The dogs
Nice.
now have a job at night. They can get the ducks in the house for us.
Right. Matt's waiting to get unloaded. He said he's still here. Uh, anyone in here had any experience with Maybach? I have not.
I have not. No.
If anyone has, please chime in and we can pass that around. Uh, Sean's on his way to Shreveport to pick up his new ride.
Did you get what you did? You oh, he changed tack again, didn't he? I was, he
Yeah.
was looking for a specific truck that we couldn't find for him in the inventory that we had. So yeah, that thing that he's doing, I guess it's out now, right? The thing that
I
he's
don't
doing
know.
is I'm gonna out him because I got outed. So who he's gonna be doing the bulk grain hauling stuff. Really, it's looking pretty promising for him. But the full sleeper like we have the condos, they don't necessarily go everywhere that you need to go with those hoppers.
Right.
So you really need a mid roof or a shorty for that operation.
Hi, Donna. Hey, she said she just remembered it's Tuesday, Jeff. Waiting for
Well,
a student to finish the test before heading home.
she deals with kindergartners through sixth graders every day right now. So we're doing good
I
that she remembers on Saturday that she doesn't have to go to work.
I feel she should be able to name every color and every day. Just saying.
Okay.
Jim, good to see you, buddy. Hey, Travis said, hey, fellas, thoughts on good freight market and good Swift dedicated accounts? Dedicated accounts, there, there's a couple depending. I mean, if you're solo, your team, there's a few. It really
You have to
depends on
do
what you're looking for.
you have to really sit down and just and look at the individual account because like let's say you're Walmart, right? Each distribution center has its own contract. So it's going to pay
Yeah.
differently, it's going to have different little quirkiness about it. So you really have to look at them and say is this going to meet my goals both financially and mentally? Um
The mentally thing's a big thing.
right. Cuz you have to do some math because a lot of them don't pay what OTR pays for the mileage, but you've got multiple stops. Specifically at Walmart's, you have a lower fuel price that you're getting fuel at because you buy it at the DC if you're smart, and it's usually the cheapest price you're ever going to find. So if you do all the math and it meets your goals, and if you live close to DC especially, and you're home for your 34 every week, that's kind of a bonus, right?
Right.
But you got to
So
make sure that it's a good fit for you all around.
yeah, for Rosie and I, it was weird because we ran Walmart dedicated out of McClinney, Florida for a while, and we were able to stay on our regular OTR contract for a while until they just wouldn't stand for it anymore. And we lost. But okay, let me preface this with saying we only worked 5 days a week and we were off every weekend. That was the deal we made when we went there, right? So it was a good deal. Um, we were off every Saturday and Sunday. Monday through Friday is all we worked. We had we would run, a couple loads during the day, and then we had a sweet run up to South Carolina to pick meat up on the way back. And we had the lock on that run 5 days a week, which was sweet. It was a great run. Um, and then we signed the contract because we wanted to keep our deal, and we lost $700 a week doing the exact same thing. So we had a reduction in our overall or our net. No, we lost 700 gross. I couldn't tell you what the net was overall. We lost 700 gross just signing that contract from one day to the next. So that was a bit of a shock. Um, the target account over there, I think, is it 96 or 98 cents. Um, I refuse to sign that contract, so I just keep running OTR when I'm there as Surge. Right now, I'm OTR for real, running 777. So I'm running Team Expedited, and like I'm not used to being this busy. Seriously, it's tiring. So far so good. I even got way out of my comfort zone. I spent half a day and a night and another half a day in California to get the load that took me over to Indiana yesterday, and that was something. I did manage to find a sweet newish trailer, like a 22 or 23 trailer in Calexico at the yard, which was baffling. And
Weird.
it there was like no damage at all, but it was so dirty. Like the floor was like it looked like a dirt floor. Like we were sweeping for so long, like shovelfuls of dirt out of that trailer. It was ridiculous. I'm like, I need a leaf blower. Although there was 40 and 30 and 60 mile an hour gusts out there, so that was kind of fun. It, it's been a thing.
Yeah,
It's been a thing.
Charlie was telling me, he's in the back of the trailer having to hold on to the side of the walls because the
Yeah,
wind gusts.
look, it was freaky, man. Like I thought someone was out there banging on the trailer. I mean, the walls were flexing. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And it was really throwing me off. And then it was just the wind. And then we drove into the wind, of course, for a very long time. But then driving out was nice because we had that tailwind and it was sweet. We only had 8,000 pounds coming out with a ridiculous tailwind. And we were just clipping along, toot, toot, happy as can be until we got to Oklahoma.
Mm.
Oklahoma got interesting. Seriously, like from Oklahoma up through, like I said, through Tulsa and Joplin and all that was we knew those storms were coming, and we stayed a couple hours ahead of them. But it was weird, man, because everywhere we were going, another tornado. At one point, there was like 40 tornado warnings simultaneously in Oklahoma, Missouri, and Kansas, I believe it was. And it was just ridiculous. I was watching this dude. He's got a YouTube channel, Max Velocity. Seriously, that guy is off the hook with weather stuff. He tracks all these crazy thunderstorms and stuff. Like I don't even know how long he went last night. I tuned out after he had been on something like 14 hours
Hmm.
because I mean, it was great information. But again, I was in the passenger seat just hoping, go, 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 cheering Rosie on, go faster, go Like we were hauling last night, like as quick as we could go. We were going. If it was legal, we were going that fast. Uh, so yeah, it's been an interesting. Back to the target account. So that contract there with Walmart, we were doing right about 5,000 miles a week. Just short of it, doing our 4 days or our 5 days there. At Target, I could do more. I could probably do if I was working like a real week there, but I only do 4 days a week there. In 4 days, we typically do, and I know this isn't team numbers, but it's happy for Rosie and I most of the time. Between 3,600 and 4,000. Definitely in a 4 day week, we usually hit that 3,900, 4,000, 4,200 week. It really depends on which loads we get throughout the week. Their loads range from 500 miles to 900 is the longest, and it's hard to get more than one of the long ones a week. Uh, and we do okay because all the accessorial pay, we're empty half the time, at least a third of the time. Uh, so I mean, it really is a matter of how the math works out for you. Like Jeff was saying, you got to be able to figure out what all the perks are. If you're at a Walmart and they have fuel, that fuel cost is pretty sweet, and you're still, maybe still getting the full fuel surcharge. I don't know if that's like a thing still or not. Honest to God, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of math you're gonna need to do. Uh, Flixie says that they have a Walmart opening right now. Sorry, trying to get caught back up on some of the chat. Yeah. Oh, wasn't worried about the tornado so much when it was him caught in. You know what? I was concerned for you, but damn, they were chasing us, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and and Chris, I've been watching all that weather stuff like right up till we. I had to like turn off my phone so I couldn't see that screen anymore because yeah, it's crazy. And of course, they're saying like sometime around between 8 and 10 tonight, where we're at over here in Ohio. We're south of Columbus right now. It's supposed to start getting pretty good. We'll see. Up until like around midnight, we're hauling ass south out of here. So that's our plan. We got to be in Miami tomorrow evening.
Hmm.
Oh, so yeah.
So you officially been OTR for 2 weeks now, Charlie.
Well, I left the Wednesday after the last show I did at home. That was, and we've done 2 shows now on the road. I say 3 weeks. I'm doing the math as 3 weeks.
There's that Charlie math again.
Hey, it's too long. I ain't look. I'm going home Thursday.
So
I'm going home.
so my question though is, after doing
Yeah,
your dedicated dealy bob that you worked out for yourself for so long, how's the last couple of weeks been for you guys?
financially, we've made quite a bit more. We'll
Hmm.
see how it goes. Okay, wait. This week will be a great week. Last week was a crap week because I only ran 2 loads, and that was just to get to Phoenix, right?
Hmm.
And then I started this week on Wednesday, ran from Phoenix to where the hell did we go? Oh, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, we ran down to Dallas, Dallas over to Cali, Cali to Indiana. Now we're doing that was this morning we dropped that one, and now we're doing Ohio to Miami, and then I have a load to pick up in Miami Thursday morning, so that won't count for this week. But we should be just over 5,300 miles for the week,
Mm.
and we actually sat waiting on freight quite a bit in between some of these loads. So I mean, if they could stack them, really get them stacked to where they're tighter appointments, I mean, it could be tremendous. But I don't like working that hard. Like 5,000
Well,
miles is a lot for me.
so right now though, and I don't know other people in your division how they're doing, but freight across the board's been pretty slow.
Yeah,
So
and
you
dude,
that might be your normal thing, you know. Go
right,
do a load, hurry up, get it there, and oh, we don't have anything for you till tomorrow. But that one's got to be there the next day,
right,
type
yeah,
of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah, and that seems to be what's going on with the team expedited stuff right now. Um, like this morning, we delivered right at 6:30 this morning, and this load doesn't pick up till we have to stage at 10:30. It usually is ready by 11 p.m. and we were 200 miles away, so a little over 200 miles a deadhead to get here. But then we've got 1,100 miles that we typically have to run, 68, 70 miles an hour to get there on time.
Hmm.
Uh, but it's usually a light load, so the math works really well on it. The last time we did this, we were over 10 miles per gallon. One of my loads yesterday or the day before, we actually logged over, I think it was 11.2 something for over 1,000 miles on that tank. So yeah, we've been fortunate with some really light loads. Good weather, except for the little bit of headwind during the little California stretch going in. That
Hmm.
ate fuel mileage up. Coming out's been great. Tailwinds, man. Some side winds have screwed us up, but nothing major. But fuel prices were not horrible for the most part going out there. I fueled up before we went into Cali and didn't have to get it till we came way out of Cali.
Hmm.
In fact, that was the tank we did 11.2 on, I think.
I
So
remember not too long ago when you actually had to look at the fuel prices between Arizona and California. But
right.
probably for about the last 6 months, I'll be honest, man, I haven't even done the math because the fuel prices in California are so insane
Yeah, they
right
were
now.
over 5 where we were at.
Yeah.
and that just hurt my feelings. I mean, I was getting 3 something even with their IFTA. I mean, it wasn't even close. I was
Yeah.
paying, mid to low 3, everywhere else. I was like, "Yep, nope, we'll pass it. We're good, no biggie." Yeah, Mick Wimpy actually said, "Death fluid costs more than fuel." Uh, it's weird, right? But that's
Yeah, it is
because of
weird.
what was it? Is it India or Pakistan? I can't remember which one it was that we were
India.
getting it from, and then they cut us off.
Yeah, India decided not to sell it to the United States anymore. So there's a thing, that urea, which is the primary component of DEF,
Right,
it's used for a lot of things, and one of them is fertilizer in agriculture.
right.
So India still has, a lot of agriculture. They're not. I, I mean, I've never been there, but I know people from there. They're not as industrialized, I would say, as like the United States. And so they started thinking, well, but we got to grow food. So up yours, United States.
Right.
you know. So that put a damper on that. It'll be interesting to see what the new technology will be because the engine manufacturers were talking about getting away from that after treatment stuff altogether. Some new whiz bang or something.
So Matt and Craig got a good spot, and I'm always upset with them. Well, I'm glad for them, upset for me. Uh, 299 for DEF is what they keep paying up there in Wisconsin. They've got a good spot,
Nice. At a TA? Wow.
right? Who'd have
That's like
thought?
that's like QT prices right there.
Oh, it's way better than QT prices on DEF because QT is up to 349.9 on their DEF price now. They were down at 329, and even at three. I mean, dude, Lord, man. I mean, what? I put in 5 gallons a day of DEF, something like that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but I mean, still, that adds up over the year. And people like me that are trying to find quarter pennies, those quarter pennies add up to full pennies turn to dimes, dimes to dollars. I get happy when I can find that, and I really wish I could find 299 DEF. That'd be awesome to me.
No doubt.
That makes my feelings. It does hurt my feelings when we're paying more for DEF than we are for fuel.
Yeah, me was
It's kind
down
of
there at
crazy.
like $1.50, $2 there for the longest time, and then it just went. Phew.
Yeah. Matt,
Uh,
I am not coming through Knoxville, dude. I don't believe so. No, I'm running down. I don't even know right now. I knew the route a little while ago. I don't know. Cutting down to Columbia, South Carolina, 26 over 95 from Columbus up here. If that makes sense. I can't think of the roads right now. It's blank. It's broken. I only slept a couple hours last night. I'm not doing well. Jeff and I had a cool meeting this morning. I was all jacked up from that too. Jeff, I wrote a bunch of notes today, bro. I had my little
you actually
journal out
wrote
writing.
notes?
Bro, I was writing notes. I had my journal out and writing notes. You should be
Okay.
proud of me. I had a pen. I was writing stuff, and I can still read it. I can read it, sir. I don't know if anyone
I,
else can.
I, okay.
I read it afterwards, and I went, "That actually makes sense." I wrote things that make sense. I just didn't even know what to do.
Nice.
Yeah,
So Chris Hamilton's one of our guys that is actually kind of killing it, regardless of what the freight
right.
is doing. Says he says I've done really fairly well, even doing 234s in the last 3 weeks. Just don't turn down loads. Planners have treated me well because of it, according to my OOC. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be a little selective at times, but in a freight market like this, um,
And and let's
they
be real.
do
If you fall
they
in with the right planners,
hmm and they
they
see
can
that
keep you
you're
flowing.
and if they see you're wanting to work, you know, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
um,
we're going some backwoods out of where we're at, Matt. Down, I think it's 64 to 77 to 26 to 95, something like that.
yeah, Chris actually went over mileage last month.
That's pretty good for a solo,
Yeah, no
especially in the
doubt.
market we're in right now.
Yeah, I remember when I was ready to pay the balloon on my 16. You know that over mileage because we actually had mileage back then.
Right?
you know, I started out with like a $62,000 balloon payment. By the time everything was said and done, I only owed 48, and over mileage definitely paid a part of that.
Yeah, Matt and Chris or Craig are doing well too.
Yeah. Yeah, a
And
lot
they're
of people
running
don't
that
realize
lean.
there was that question from Wimpy earlier that don't we get penalized for so much mile? It's not really a penalty, Wimpy. It's like any standard lease. If you're to lease a Toyota pickup, you got so many miles that you can drive that thing a year, and then they're going to charge you per mile to drive that car. Same thing with these trucks. We've got 10,000 miles a month that we can drive them, and after that, what is it, Charlie? 7 or 9 cents. I always forget.
9 cents.
9 cents a mile that they charge us past that point. But if your plan is to buy that truck out, guess what? All that over mileage goes towards the balloon payment.
And in the right mood, they'll move like half of that if you lease another truck
Yeah.
into that truck, which is weird to me, but whatever. It's not contractual, so I don't count on it, but I know I've seen it
Well,
done and they've talked about it before.
so my 16 was my third truck, Charlie, and that was part of it. Is that I had two other trucks that I was mentoring in that had a bunch
Right.
in that escrow
Right.
account, and it carried forward. They took a little bit of it for the little dings and scrapes and stuff to make the older trucks ready for sale,
Right.
but there's always something left over and just carried forward. So not contractual, like Charlie said, but for three trucks they did that. I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of stuff that I've been talking to a lot of guys at Swift about. The whole early buyout thing and what happens with this and what happens with that. One of the things that the market has caused, I'm just going to tell you this, and I'm going to research what it's like at other carriers as I go out away from Swift as well. But at Swift, they are taking the early buyouts on a case by case basis with a heavy leaning towards no.
Right. But
And
you got to ask, you got to talk to them.
I mean, you got to talk to Juice, try and make your deal. Maybe it's yes, maybe it's no, but if you don't ask, you know what the answer is? No, every time.
Matt says he's getting hit for $60 extra over mileage. Nice. Mark said he found a better death price, 289 at BP in Camp Douglas, Wisconsin. Just saying.
Still up there though, huh?
Right. I know. Uh, Tim said he's doing pretty good. 2,400 miles this week.
Yeah, I was right there between 1,800 and 2,400 miles a week. It was kind of weird, Charlie. I'd have one week that was 1,800, and then I'd have one week that was 24, 2,500, and then I'd have a
Right.
week that was 15, and then I'd have a 26. It was just weird. A lot of it depends on what lane you're in too.
Yeah.
There's
It's
lanes
funny.
right now. There's markets right now that I used to be like, oh yeah. I'll give you one example, Charlie. Load to Dallas? Heck yeah, because I know I can get a load to Utah from there.
Right.
Not anymore. That market's
Right.
tough right now for some reason. So,
Oh,
ye-
I told some of these planners I've been talking to. So I was having discussion and talking about, how can I help out? What can I do to make things better? What do you need covered? What are you having trouble getting covered and on time and things like that? And their big thing is, uh, you know, people want to know, well, why can't we get more of these silos for teams and things like that? I know the answer. They told me the answer because we keep being late to them. We are selling on time service. If we're not on time, people don't want to use us. Can you blame them? I can't. So they tender less loads to us that way.
yep.
All we gotta do is be on time, and these people will keep feeding us loads for you team guys. It goes for solos too. Uh, I see an awful lot of times when I'm talking to a guy in a terminal or something, and he's like, "Yeah, I got this stupid load. I got 48 hours to run 600 miles, so I'm gonna go home today and hang out, or I'm gonna go to the mall, or I'm just gonna sleep and play video games or whatever today. And then, I'll take the last 24 hours and make the run. And then they try to run the whole 600 miles in their one shift, and they get a flat tire halfway there, and they lost that 24-hour cushion that they had, and now they're late, or for whatever other reason, weather, accident. I mean, granted, some of these things you can't control, but you could control them if you actually left and ran it and got there early.
Right.
And then you don't have to drive fast. Drive slow. Do 60 miles an hour the whole way there. Do some sightseeing, man. Look out the windows. It's nice. It's a beautiful country we live in. I'm just saying. People are like 80 miles an hour and they can't see nothing because they're so focused ahead of them.
Yeah, Wimpy, I cannot defend this. How can you
No,
lead on a team load coast to coast in 2 days? Unbelievable. You're right. I'm not going to argue on that one.
you win. No
And
argument
the
at all.
and the silo loads are interesting because like I've gotten a few of them from Atlanta to Seattle, and had them taken off me because that's supposed to be an expedited team freight load. But the
Right.
dang thing had 7 days on it.
Yeah, they're kind of weird. Sometimes they're time loads.
Hmm.
And so when you see the pre-plan, it'll be like, oh yeah, it's got 7 days. And then they're like, oh no, you actually have 48 hours. Go from the
Hmm.
time you picked it up. And you're like, oh, that's interesting. And yeah, whatever. I treat every load like it's that way though. Honest to God,
Yeah.
Rosie and I, we get a load. As soon as it's ready, we're gone. We're at this customer now. I mean, I got here as early as I could with the day being what it was, and went and checked in. I said, "Hey, I know I'm crazy early. Just want to know if what I was doing, can I drop the trailer over in that drop yard, and how early can we check in, and all that kind of thing." And they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it, bro. Yeah, go drop the trailer over there. You can hang out. I got you all checked in. You're all set to go. You're great, man. Just hang out until this place notifies the carrier. The carrier notifies me that the load is ready, and then we go do our thing."
Hmm.
Okay. So here I am, parked bobtail, chilling out, got the windows open. Nice little breeze right now. It's gonna turn crappy here in another hour or two, something like that. Um, uh, oh, you know what? Wimpy said something about he can't believe how many truck drivers he sees sleeping with their windows open, and I'm glad about that. You know what? People are paying more attention to their fuel costs, and that's good for their business.
Yeah.
I like, because I mean, sure, there gets a point when it gets a little warm, and then I idle the truck. But if we can sleep comfortably, Rosie and I have the windows open.
Yeah, it took me a little getting used to, and I hate not having my passenger side sleeper window. I still want that back.
Right.
But that little fan in there,
You don't have one in that truck?
I have the fan
But you don't have the passenger
or
side
the
sleeper
the
window?
driver's side sleeper window,
Oh,
driver's
okay,
side.
yeah, yeah. I got the okay, yeah, yeah, the fan.
So the way
Rosie sees
Swift,
the thing blowing on it. Crazy.
yeah, I mean, a lot of times it'll be just like, oh, I feel like I own the truck, but if I open that vent and start the fan and open the front windows,
Mhm.
it it works. What can I say? You gotta get used
Right?
to that bzzz next to your head because that's the side I always sleep on. I can't stand to sleep on the other side.
Right?
It's,
You know what? Rosie and I have been using it to replace the reefer sound.
oh, right, because you're not running reefer right now and you're used to it.
Right. Oh my god, dude. So, yeah, it's a thing. It's oh my god, so much a thing. Uh, sorry, trying to catch back up. Mike Anderson, what's up, buddy? Doo-doo-doo. Chris said he had a few extra hours, went and saw Superman in Metropolis. Look at that.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that's one of the things Rosie and I miss about being OTR was we would go see movies. You know, go get a hotel for a couple days and see what's around. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, most time we'd hang out in the hotel and just relax in bed and watch TV and work on the truck and go drink tequila at a good bar, restaurant,
A good
something
old
like that.
hotel. Yeah.
Yeah. relax. I don't know, man. I haven't, the smart idol. James said I love my smart idol. I
Yeah,
We haven't used it at all. When we team and then when we are parked, the weather's just been okay.
I just never figured it out, man. I set it up and all that, set it for comfort mode and all that, and it just would not keep the truck cool enough for me. And
Yeah,
I ended
it's
up just
weird.
saying, screw it, I'm just going to out of the truck now because I'm Jeff and I do stupid things.
Right. Look, my couple days in Phoenix, my fuel mileage was it's so sad when I look at my fuel gauges. I got all these 9s and 8s and 10s and 11s, and there's a 7.5, I think it is, in the middle of it. And I'm all
Which is
kinds
when
of
you
bummed by
were
that one.
idling in Phoenix.
Yeah, like 3 days in Phoenix
Well,
screwed me on that one.
remember, Charlie, I told you that on my way to Phoenix, my dash was at 11.6. By the next morning, because it stayed hot that night, I was at like 9. And by the time
Right.
you got there, I was at 6.
Yeah, yeah, yep, yep,
And I was like doing the right thing, like spending a lot of time in the driver's lounge doing that stuff for Contractors Corner in their little
yep.
computer place that they have. So the only time I was idling was if it was too hot at night. And 2 of those nights I was able to just keep the windows open. You know what annoys me though? And I complained to you about this, Charlie. The weather is kind of sort of warm, but if you could just lower the windows, you'd be fine.
Right.
But those are the days when the guy on either side of you is idling their truck, and for some reason they have a regen every 2 hours.
You
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
it's probably because they're idling their truck so much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just
Yeah, it's been a trip. I've been really lucky this couple of weeks. Um I've been getting some good parking spots with some good airflow. Like seriously. One night in Phoenix I had a guy with an old Century parked next to me that wasn't there the first 2 nights, and like the 3rd night, I guess he came to start his truck up that morning, and I woke up to his exhaust in my little fan window because he was on that side.
oh yeah.
I was like, which sucked because the nights down there were nice. Most of the nights we were there, and so we just had the windows open and we're chilling. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Life on 18 wheels. So once I make my move over to the other carrier, I'll have an APU on that truck. So I'm looking forward to testing that out. I've never had one before, so
Right?
I will be letting people know how that works out. I think that at these fuel prices, it pencils out for a solo driver.
You should tell people what kind of truck you're going to be driving.
Well,
I
it
think that's
depends
interesting.
because I'm being delayed because of physical stuff.
Oh, that's right.
But if I could get in the truck next week, I'll be driving a straight truck for a couple of weeks. Well, because the tractor that they have for me is not ready right now.
I actually I want you in that straight truck. I want reports.
Well, I'm
Just
hoping I
curious
can make money
how that operation works on the
here.
solo side.
And I told Rob, the guy I'm going to work with, I said,
There's those
so
dogs,
if I could make money with that straight truck, you might not be able to get me out of
right?
it.
Right? Those sleepers are crazy, man.
Yep. You think my remodel was silly in my Cascadia? Wait till you see what I could do with a straight truck with all that room.
Oh my god, dude. Tim said he
So
had to idle
he
his
had
truck the past 2 nights. Had a regen only once each night. I only regen. I think in we were idling during the day when we
Mhm.
were out there in the truck, and like the last half of the afternoon, I think we actually regen twice.
Mm.
Now that I think about it, the whole time we were in Phoenix. So I don't know. It was weird.
Oh, Ismail heard Tammy.
Yeah, that's funny.
So yeah, he spends a lot of time in the Southwest, and Ismail's thinking seriously about getting an APU.
Right.
I think for a solo driver, they're going to pay with these fuel prices. And I don't see the fuel prices going back down to $2 anytime soon. So it's not it's not going to be the 3 month return on investment that the people that sell them to you is. I think we calculated it out at about a year to 18 months, depending on, how often you're in the heat. Because in the cold, I've got the S bar. Um, and as long as you've got a good set of batteries, I've never had the S bar totally kill my truck and not be able to start it.
Right.
So,
I call BS on this because I know people that are running straight trucks that are getting way better than what I get
oh yeah, yeah, we've
on
we've
mileage.
we've done we've actually done the research on that one, Wimpy, and
I've seen 14s and better easily.
when you're working at a company where you can negotiate your deadhead, that's not an issue. And in expedited freight, that there's going to be more deadheaded in expedited, I think, than what I'm used to. And that's with a
Oh,
tractor or
excuse
a
me.
straight truck. Doesn't matter. It's
Right.
just you got to go where the freight is. Someone mentioned earlier. Everybody should know by now. I'm heading over to Panther to work with a small fleet owner that wants to grow his fleet. And so this is not just a driving job for me. For those of you that are concerned about my future, thank you, but
Right.
we're good. I'm going over there in a consultant and coach role as well, on top of the driving duties that I'll have over there. And I'm going to spend
The
6 months
driving duties
learning
are to really
his.
learn it.
Yeah, I need to learn his business so that I can coach his people. That's the driving part of it. And then we're going to be building a recruiting, retention, and education program for his fleet. And he wants to branch off into other carriers and all sorts of stuff. It's pretty exciting for us. Um, and yeah, it's a business decision. It's more for Contractors Corner than it is for Mortco Transportation. Um, it'll be a trip, man. Definitely a challenge because it's a market that we've never experienced before. Well, Charlie has sort of at Swift because they do have team expedited at Swift. Um, but yeah, I kind of want to touch a little bit, Charlie. People are concerned about my future. Oh, Jeff's not going to make it. Look, man, we've done our research, and this is one of the things that we teach. I have a business plan for what we're doing. I have contacts already
This is a
over there.
relationship that's over a year old at this point.
Right. Um, so what happens, you guys, when you decide to move carriers? Ha, you know, we've seen a lot of guys leave Swift just because I ain't making no money. I get that. What makes you think you're going to make money at the other carrier if you couldn't make money at Swift? That's something that everybody should be asking themselves.
Right.
And when you're looking at another carrier, some of the comments, I know guys at Prime and they say they're worse at Swift or at Panther or whatever. I don't listen to those people, Charlie.
Right.
I listen to the guys that are making money, and I
Right.
say, okay, how are you making money? I really
Exactly.
don't. This sounds harsh, but it's business. I don't care about the guys that failed. I don't want to replicate them. I want to replicate the guy that's got 30 trucks in a fleet. I think the reason Prime came up, Charlie, is because we all have that thing with Prime. Oh,
Prime is
Prime rules.
good.
It's almost like a cult over there. We know a guy that built a fleet of 120 trucks over there during the post
Slaying it.
during the post pandemic. He did have to downsize his fleet because freight sucks. But at Prime, this dude's freaking killing it. And we even asked, why Prime? He's like, well, I got a good contract over there.
Hey, we know a fleet owner now at Panther with quite a few trucks who's doing very well, as are his drivers. They could be
Yep.
doing better with some coaching.
Yep.
Thus the move. Different contractual rates. I mean, any number of things could happen there. I mean, there's so many different variables, and when you hear people say things like, "Don't go there because my friend went there and failed." Look, I don't know your friend. I don't know what kind of work ethic your friend has. I'm convinced that I can go just about anywhere that's got a fair contract, a contract I can understand, and I can figure out how to make money there.
Right.
You know, um, I limit myself, Rosie and I limit ourselves rather, at Swift on our income because of the other things that I've been working on the Road Warrior Entrepreneur stuff. We got that podcast we're building, the Contractors Corner stuff. I mean, just everything wrapped into one. It takes a lot of time. So I have kept my work schedule for God over the last year, 4 days a week in trucking, and I try to spend the rest of that time working on my other avenues, building these relationships in other places like Jeff and I have been doing. And it's kind of a trip because there's this crap before the show even started, in the chat. Oh, Jeff's gonna go there and fail. uh you know um James had a great one. Go ask the 30 guys sitting in Laredo that have been sitting there for 30 days. Those guys are stupid if they're sitting in Laredo for 30 days. That's their own damn fault. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's dumb.
Right. One of the things I can speak to, because I've already been through their orientation, they have this thing at Panther, and again, they are the division I'm going into is expedited. So if you get into a market, right, that is just really weak, you can call them up and say, "Hey, where's the freight?" And they do this thing like tell you where the freight is,
Right?
and then you can negotiate. Okay, what will you pay me to deadhead there? It's a negotiation. Um, it okay, you know, um, it's not going to pay what line haul pays, right? But they will compensate you for moving that truck and trailer to a market where there's actually work. So if you're at a Panther and you're stuck, why haven't you made the phone call?
Right?
Now, admittedly, Charlie, I have to put this out there. This is based on what I've learned just from orientation and talking to some people. How that works in practice, we'll see.
Hey, Josh.
It's
Right?
like everything else. So again, James, I'm going to reiterate. They're there because they want to be there. Nobody at Panther gets stuck anywhere. They're owner operators, man. They don't have
Yeah,
any company
that's
trucks.
crazy to me.
They don't have any company trucks.
And if
We
they're working for some crappy fleet owner, that's a bad choice.
you working with Wanda, Charlie. They do have more deadhead than they like, but they call in and get a deadhead rate to move over to where there's some freight.
Right?
There's times where everybody gets salty and says, "Screw it, I'm just going to stay here." Everybody gets that way. I get that way. Charlie, you get that way, I'm sure. But that should be fleeting. That should be that I'm going to go have a steak and feel better, and then I'm going to get back to work.
Right. What's
You
up,
know?
Roland? Good to see you, buddy. So Roland said I was a trainer at Swift 22, 23, saved money, bought a truck, left Swift. I run dat load board. I run half the miles, and I make the same in this horrible market. Yes.
Nice. So, Roland, I'm interested to know: have you built relationships with brokers? Then, are you running for the same couple of brokers, or are you just out there running the naked DAP board? That would be interesting.
Wimpy said you're going to be on the East Coast 90% of your time.
Yep, that's understood. However, part of this business model, I need to understand it better.
Right.
Talking to them, part of the reasons why they don't have very much freight over here on the West Coast is because nobody wants to go there. They can't get owners to come like to California, so they just
It's
don't.
hilarious. I don't blame
So,
them.
right, but at the same time, it means that when I want to come home to Utah, they'll probably have something for me to take to Utah because nobody else wants to go out here. There's something, you know. So it'll definitely be an adventure. I'm looking forward to the challenge, which honestly, at this point in my life, I kind of need it. I've been at Swift for so long that I've gotten a little bored, you know. You know how it is, Charlie. You figure out the
Oh yeah.
thing, you get bored, and you want to go figure out something else.
I want to go back to James for a minute. He said even here at Swift is better. I know for a fact that some people at Swift are doing phenomenal. I
Yep.
know some people who can't make their truck payment and are so deep in the hole that they're never going to get out. Um, there's a lot to the relationships they've built or not built to get them in those positions. There's being willing to do things that other people haven't wanted to do, like run, grossed out every load back and forth up and down the same lane over and over and still turn a good profit. Um, our dudes on the beans. I mean,
Hmm.
I know four of them who are doing very well there, even pulling heavy all the damn time. And I mean, they're in the group, they're in the chat. They talk about it. It's not a big thing. I also know people that are doing way better at Panther than people I know at Swift.
Hmm.
I don't know. What are they doing at Panther that the people you're talking about, uh, James, aren't?
Or even remember back when Sierra England used to be the one that I would say, yeah, don't go over there.
Right.
But the fact is, I met guys over there that were killing it too.
Oh, guys that own their truck outright
Yeah.
absolutely slated at England. That was the key to CR England's owner op program. If you owned your truck, you could absolutely kill it over there because their lease payments, their lease program was a monster. It ate up so
Yeah.
much profit.
They
It was
nickel and
so much
dimed a lot of
overhead.
stuff out
Yeah,
of them. Yeah. It's
exactly. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
so my point is we can all point to even Landstar guys. I've talked to Landstar people, people that come to Swift from Landstar. Oh, I died over there. And yet I talked to other Star guys that just do dry van, which is like the bottom basement over there, right? Doing dry van, making a net profit of $130,000 a year solo.
I'm coaching a
I,
brand new contractor right now, a female out of Laredo. Just spoke to her this past week, end of the week. I don't even know what day. Today's Tuesday. I must have talked to her Friday. Friday, I talked to her. Yeah. It could
mhm.
have been Saturday. I don't even know anymore. I don't know. She came here. She was at Landstar, uh, and hated it. Could not make any money at Landstar. She was at Charger. She was doing well, but didn't like the contract rate because it was like, a buck a mile or something like that. And just wasn't making enough money for the work. And now she's come over here and she's having to learn a new system and she's lost quite a bit of money making these changes. Okay. But she knows what she's after and she's asking for help from what I believe are the right people that know where to point her, things like that. Me being one of them. I said, look, one of the first conversations you need to have is you need a different driver leader because the person that she has is not doing her any good at all. I assure you, whether it's a communication issue, whether it's just oil and water, they're bumping heads, whatever, they don't jive. She needs a different driver leader. That is absolutely step one. The first thing I told her she needs to do is ask for a new driver leader. Go in, have a conversation, speak to that driver leader and say, look, this isn't working. I've expressed to you what it is that I'm after, what I need, what I'm looking for, and what I know is available out here in the Swift system. And you're not helping me with that at all. Um, this guy has actually been detrimental to her business in her
Mhm.
first 2 weeks here, in just 2 weeks here. So very fresh, very new. I say you need to talk to the fleet leader and or the terminal leader and make that happen. Uh, she has a friend who's out of the same terminal and has a fabulous driver leader who's a different, totally different type of person and would probably mesh with her much better. So little things like that are actually big things, and people don't realize that. I mean, if your support staff, if you don't have the same vision, if they don't know what your vision is and what you need and how you want to run or how you like to run things like that, how are they ever going to even get close to being able to fulfill your needs? I'm stuttering.
Mhm.
How are they going to meet your needs if you're not communicating those needs? If you're not communicating, hey, I need this, I need this. What can I do to help facilitate these things? Instead of just saying, "Oh, screw you, you're a jackass." Uh,
Mhm.
um, you know, w- w- totally different approach. with these team planners I've been dealing with, I'm like, look, the first things I'm saying is where do you need coverage? Where is it people don't want to go? And I'm willing to go to almost all those places except that northeast corner. That's my line, right? So
Mhm.
I know that I am losing potential freight there doing this team thing. But I'm fully aware of that line. I'm fully aware of the loss, potential loss there, and I'm willing to make up for it in another place. There's weird people screaming. That's weird. Anyhow, kids playing off in the distance threw me off. And but I'm willing to make up for it in other places. Like I went to California. Can't remember the last time I went to California,
Yep.
and I sat in California.
Well, you remember, Charlie, when I first moved to Utah, I said I will never run Oregon again because of that tax. 2 weeks later, where was I?
Right,
Because
right.
freight. I needed work. you know.
Sorry, I missed some chat here. Let's go back. Roland, right now I have one contract running Dr. Pepper from Houston to Tyler, Texas, 180 miles, 750 for that 3 hour run. Brokers will call you if you meet appointments. Exactly. You're building relationships. You're building a name for yourself. And Roland, I have no doubt, sir, that you're going to do just damn fine. You know, I think we've butted heads on some things over the past. Hi, dog. Which one's that?
That was Tomas.
I don't know how to tell them apart. Hi, roof.
Tomas
Um,
is darker than Tammy.
if you say so, I believe you. Roland, I think you've got a good head on your shoulders, dude, and I think that you and I have had some good talks in the past. And man, power to you, brother. I'm glad you're doing things. Tim said, I made bank doing the Bush Bean surge in December. That's why I'd love to get back on it. Mike Henderson came back with I left Swift twice. Once to go local, second because I wanted to try a percentage. Came back to Swift because I love training, and I've always made money here. I make more now than I ever made before. There you go.
Yeah.
James says he doesn't mind being picked on. We're not picking on you. We're
I am.
debating the.
I
I'm
am.
not picking on him. I'm debating the things you're saying, bro. Uh, Panther, from what he's seen there in Laredo, is really bad. I had help buy a bus ticket for a driver to get home. Uh,
Again, he's either an owner operator or he's working for a fleet owner. So either he's not very good at running his business, or his fleet owner is trash. That's all
and
I'm
he
saying.
shouldn't be there if he's got a trash fleet owner.
And so again,
He's just
Wanda
saying, be
runs.
careful, Jeff.
Yeah, I know. I'm always careful. It takes me a decade to make a decision. So, um, Wanda and her husband, they run team for Panther, and they've said the same thing to me. Laredo, you got a dead head out. You get stuck down there. It's a good load going in, paying the butt, working with the brokers down there, and then you got a dead head out to somewhere where there's freight.
Right?
So that's the SOP there. And I
Yeah,
don't know
truck
why
prices are dropping.
again. Yeah.
Yep. Sorry,
Hey,
where
you
was
could you could buy my
Laredo?
tw- you could buy my 2016 for about 10 grand if you want to tow it away. I'm just saying.
I want to sell Chewy for 10.
Yeah.
I won't part with Chewy for less than 10. That'll just, I know it ain't whatever. Don't judge me. Um, oh, that's legit. My Swift deal was my biggest reason for leaving. Look, I get it, man. You were having some problems, and I think you made a good decision when you made it. I
Yeah.
think that you know we all got to do what we got to do, right? We're not going to knock you for doing what you're doing. We're just saying, think about what you're doing, plan it out, know what you're getting into. We see it all too often. An awful lot of guys say, "I'm not making no money right here at Swift. I'm gonna go insert the carrier name. Don't care who it is. They go from one mega to another, to another, to another, to another. And guess what? They have the same problems at those megas and then come back to Papa Swift.
Hmm.
It's crazy the amount of times that they come back. What's crazy is the fact that Swift even lets you come back that many times. I think that's absolute insanity. I don't understand it not one bit. I You should hear some of the conversations I've had with people in the corporate side. I'm like, why do you let them come back? Okay, I can see, they left, made a mistake, decided it was, okay, my bad, didn't leave on bad terms. But they let people who leave on these horrific terms and in such a blaze of madness and then bring them back in 2 months. And I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you people? Makes no sense to me at all. And they just keep doing it over and over. And every time it's never their fault. Why is it you've gone to all these carriers, had the same problems at all of these places, and it's not you?
Yeah,
How is that not you?
I have a dear friend. Consider him a brother, right? But he's been married 5 times, and I used to have an annual barbecue for my couple of friends I still have from high school, and he was over at the house one time. It was after divorce number 4, and I said, "Dude, so at what
Great.
point do you look at yourself and say maybe it's not them?" And I could say that because again, like a brother, you
Right?
know, the same thing, you know. Take take responsibility for your future, your actions, and look at what happens. It's almost like magic. In my application process, so these people, so when you go to work with a fleet owner at Panther, you have to apply to Panther first, just like you do at Swift. You have to be accepted by them, and then the fleet owner can put you to work for them. They couldn't understand me, Charlie. I said, "Yeah, I've been at Swift since 2006," and they're like, "Well, what other driving jobs have you had?" I'm like, "No, I've been at Swift, one carrier this whole time." And they just really
Right?
didn't know what to do with me. So,
Kathy said turnover is horrendous everywhere. It is absolutely.
yeah,
Uh, who was it? Forward Air's got a 37%. That was
yeah.
absolutely great.
Yeah, so
That's
like
crazy.
like they have a bit of a story that I'd like to learn more about because they were right up there at that 100% for a long time, the guy said. And they just decided that they were done with that sort of nonsense. And so they
Right.
started working, and I'm just going to plug it. They started working with the guys over at ES and talking about their contract, and they made some changes in their company based on recommendations, and now they're at that 37% now. So that's something, that's kind of impressive that they first of all admitted, look, we got an issue. It's
Right.
costing us all these money. Let's fix it. Let's actually fix it. Let's do some things that are more mutually beneficial for the contractors and us. Change some things around, and lo and behold, look at what happened. I mean, those of you guys, it's all over some of the Facebook pages. My carrier, they keep on hiring people even though there's no freight. You know what Ford Air did? They still have a hiring freeze in the southeast.
Right.
That's how they did it. They would rather take care of their current operators and keep them moving than play that revolving door game.
Right.
It's interesting.
So something we're actually seeing at Swift right now is a reduction in fleet size.
Hmm.
I don't know how
Quite a
open
bit.
they are, but it's thousands of trucks less than it was, say, this time last year or the year before.
Yeah.
We've got contractors that are turning their trucks in. Some ask to become company drivers, some don't ask and don't get offered.
Right.
But if you don't ask, you know what I mean? I would bet that most of them would probably be seated in a truck if that's what they wanted to do. But whatever. I get it. Um, Chris said, you guys told me it would be a good idea to wait on becoming an OO, but I took that as a challenge and it's paid off in spades thanks to good advice and proper research. Chris, you are a unicorn, sir,
Yes.
but you're not the average bear. And that's why we like you so much because you ask questions. And when you run into obstacles, you're like, hey, what do I do with this? Have you guys ever faced this? And what did you do? What was the outcome? Right. And we've had these conversations, and that's what's amazing to me, man. The people who take these active roles and they engage in the community and they're a part of that community tend to do better than everyone else.
Hmm.
You look at the turnover we have in just the Swift private Facebook group, right? Jeff and I keep track of how many terminations out of that group. We don't know if you termed your contract or if your contract was terminated by Swift or IEL or whatever. We just know that the contract is terminated, so we use that word as there's no more contract, you've left. Okay. You're no longer a contractor at Swift. So don't think that I'm picking on anybody saying you got termed or any. It's not. We just know people, their contracts are terminated for whatever reason. We have no idea. 6% of our about 250 member roll in that group, we lose about 6% every month and replenish pretty steady. It stays right around 250, 230, 270. And there's a 20 bump to either side, depending on the time of year and different special things like that. Here's the funny part is 80, 90, some months 95% of that 6% that leave have zero engagement in the community, have never asked a question, have never left a comment. Hell, we can't even get them to like a post.
Yep.
We have no idea who they are. They've never asked anybody anything that we know of. Zero engagement. They're there for a couple months. Bam, contract's terminated. Brand new, brand new. It's baffling.
Yep.
But we see that. We see it every single month. You know, we see that these guys, these people, uh, they don't ask questions. They didn't share their story. They didn't share their pain points, their struggles, their triumphs, any of that, right? And apparently didn't bother even to read through the posts that are there, do a simple little search for their problem, and they could probably find their problem in the Facebook group because we've gone through so many of them
Hmm.
with ways to fix different problems or talk to certain people that can fix the problems that you're having. And they don't do that. And that is sad. That is not an entrepreneur. That is someone who bought a job.
Yep. They wanted a red truck.
Yeah, you know, they wanted to drive fast. They wanted this, they wanted that, but they did nothing to work for that or towards that. And that to me, you know what? It's sad. Hopefully they've learned a lesson, but I've seen an awful lot that just said, "Oh, I'll send a message to them afterwards. I saw that your contract was terminated, you terminated, whatever, and just want to know what happened." Like, oh, I couldn't make any money there, so I went to Schneider. I went to here, and they went and leased another truck. And I'm like,
Right.
so what's the contract look like there? Oh, I'm not really sure. I don't really understand it. What? You didn't understand this contract? I get that. I know that from our little conversation, but why would you go do it again? That's insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity, they say.
Yeah.
That's not entrepreneurship. That's silliness. That's stupidity. I'm going to throw that word out. That is just ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm better.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. So Mike asked me when am I getting the boot? Officially on Monday next week. So there is a proper way to turn a truck in when you're doing this, by the way. And I've been in contact with Michelle. I've been in contact with Addison here in West Valley, and with the idea of how do I do this amicably? Because make no mistake, I'm not trying to burn a bridge here. You know, I have had a very good relationship with Swift all these years. Coming back to Swift is not out of the cards for me. I'm going to do this thing that has more to do with road warrior entrepreneurs than it does with driving. Um, you know, so it's not a bad company. I made money here. That's not it. It's this other adventure that I'm wanting to go on. So the proper way that I'm learning is, you want to be present during the turn-in inspection.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want to get a receipt from them that they have possession of the truck. I found that out from Tony at Seabright, because they will not cancel my insurance unless I prove that Swift has possession of that truck. So those of you that have outside insurance, I'm sure that Seabright's not the only one that's like that. If you have the Swift insurance, obviously everything gets canceled at once because they know.
Right.
But when you have outside insurance, they might think you're just trying to get out of a bill.
Hey, make
You
sure you get the
know,
records from your settlements prior to
right? Before
turning
you,
everything in.
because once they term your contract, you lose all of your the portal. So
Right?
make sure you're pulling your logs for your per diem, you're pulling your settlements, all that stuff, so that you have it for your records, because you'll lose that. And you know, I'm not sure, Charlie, but I know a lot of carriers and 800-pound gorillas type businesses out there
Right.
that they'll give you the information, but they're going to charge you for it, like a couple $100 to get that from them, because you're no longer a client of theirs or whatever. Actually, Wimpy, I'm leaving the truck with the same amount of fuel that I picked it up in, which is about a quarter tank.
Right. Look. When I picked mine up, I had to put 163 gallons of fuel in it. I already told Michelle, expect that.
Yep.
If I ever go, that's how it's coming back, yo. If I gotta sleep on the damn yard idling that truck for a week to get it there, I'm just saying, I'm gonna get my fuel back. Whatever. That sounds petty, but it's funny. Um, exactly, Chris. Said you can learn a lot just following the private Facebook posts.
Yep.
Jason Sanford. Would you recommend going to Swift now as an owner operator? Thanks, guys. Jeff has the best answer for you right here.
Do I?
Yeah.
I mean, so the answer to that, as always, is it depends.
I love it.
I mean, that there's no one answer to that, Jason. It's look at the contract and whether or not the contract meets your business goals. And your business goals should be based on your vision. Where do you want to be in 5 to 10 years? And that's not just business, but your family and everything. If it does, then yeah, I have no. Again, the only reason I'm leaving is because I have this other opportunity. Otherwise, I would still be. It's tough right now, but it's tough everywhere. I'm not escaping the toughness that is the current market by
Right.
going to another carrier. I am not. Make no
If
mistake about
anything,
that.
you're adding a layer
Right,
of
because
complexity because you got to learn a whole new system.
I got to forge new relationships, learn a new system, um, learn. They're still using a version of the Qualcomm, so I got to get back to that. You know, all these things I have to learn over the next couple of months to be profitable. Um, but the challenge of it is what one of the reasons why I love being an owner operator, though. If you love the challenge and you're willing to put in the work, you can make money at any carrier, like Charlie said. Um, I'm gonna toot our horn a little bit. You have an advantage at Swift because you have
Toot,
us
toot.
and our community, um, and
If you're willing to be an active part of it.
right. If you're active in the Facebook group, when the time comes in about a month, you join the private community where you get all the real in-depth training. Yeah, we can guide you to the right people. The one thing I never have done, Charlie, is I will not give up my list of planners that I've built relationships with.
Right.
Why is that,
No,
Charlie?
people need to develop that on their own. That is something you absolutely, because you know what, the magical planners that I get along with so well may just grate on your nerves just hearing their voice or the way they breathe.
Yeah.
It's gonna do you no good
Well,
because you're gonna get annoyed.
look at our former OOC, Dana Nelson.
Right? Oh God, that was awesome.
We love her. We would give up body parts for her. She's
Absolutely.
family. But there
I
are
will cut
people,
Jeff's left arm right now for her.
that if they met her in a dark alley, she might not make it out.
Right? Or they might not. I'm just saying.
Yeah, she's a tough cookie, that one. But
But yeah,
the relationships are so individual and personal. You have to build those yourself. So, uh, Chris Hamilton made a star rating planner list. I did something similar, Chris.
right,
So here's one of the things that Chris asked me a few months ago. I think it's been now. You know how truck drivers don't have any sense of time.
right.
But so he was going to Oregon first time as an owner operator. He's like, and I'm like, dude, I that's a tough one. I know. Okay, so you've got a 1,400-mile load going there, but how are you getting out? And he's like, yeah, I was thinking about that. I might have made a mistake. And I'm like, well, here's what you do when you get there. You call Troutdale, and I gave him the number to Troutdale, I think. But you talk to their planners directly, not Chip, not the front desk guy. You want to talk to the planners, find out what they need from you, and they will hook you up. And he did that, and he was out of there like boom.
Those planners, for as long as I can remember, if I called and said, "Hey, what do you guys need done?" That's how
Hmm.
I would start the conversation. How are you? How's things? What do you need done? How can I help you today? And I would get some horrific crap load run out to Toledo, Oregon.
Hmm.
I left the coast, bobtailed into Portland. Now I got to run down to Toledo and spend the night down there. Ugh. But
They got that
Stu,
place
Mi-
with the good ribs though, just down the street from the
Stu
mill.
Miller's pig feathers, okay, that was worth it to me. So I found a rainbow there. I'm just saying. Uh, but but when I came out of there, pretty much pick where I wanted to go in the country.
Hmm.
And if they didn't have something going where I wanted to go, they could usually build me a route getting there, a stack. Now, I don't expect a stack anywhere today with the market being what it is, but I mean, it's just one of those things, you know. It was relationships that we built, you know. Our terminal leader now out of Troutdale used to be the operations guy, you know, head of the planners and all that, Lonnie. And I would call Lonnie and be like, "Look, man, what are you stuck with right now that you can't get anyone to move?" And I would do this from the luxury of bed at home so that I knew what I was going to be doing the next day or in 2 days from now. Oh, I got this crap load that I just know no one's going to take. Today's
Wanna.
Monday. Okay. Uh, Comes out on Wednesday, and man, that we're going to blow that load because we can never get anyone to take it. I'm like, well, that's on my way out of the house to Portland. I'll pick it up and go all the way to New York. Oh my God.
Well, one of my common things when I lived there, Tony, or why am I
Tony.
calling you Tony?
I don't know. I'm whatever, bro.
We don't even have a meeting scheduled with him today.
You're fine, Steve. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, it's snowing
Stupid
again.
Steve.
It's
Oh, stop
sunshiny
it.
and snowing. Anyway,
Yes.
so what I used to
Squirrel.
do is I would talk to Uncle Russ, and to get it empty, I would take something out of the yard and go deliver it at one of those places you could barely get in and out of, right? Sweep it out, because then I would pick up Subaru going to Denver. And right now I can't remember the lady's name, but there's a planner that specifically does the paper bales down to New Mexico. And I would actually call her and say, "Hey, you got one of those paper bale loads?" And she's like, "You want one of those?"
Right.
I'm like, "Yeah, I want one of those." And about halfway down there, I would have a load of Calexico going out of the mill there. And then from Calexico, I would go back to Portland, and I would do the whole thing again. That worked great for a long time. But it was something that I asked first. Okay, what do you need delivered today? So I could get an empty coming out of the house, and then I would start on that run.
Right. Like Mike's saying, one of the things that he missed about Northwest is the fact that if you do a local, they almost always reward you. Like,
Right.
hey, I if that's what makes it work, I was down for it.
Well, and I was just talking to them about this whole thing that I'm doing because they're all, "You've been here forever. Are you mad or whatever?" I'm like, "No."
Right.
But I was talking to Lenka, who's one of the driver leaders out of there, and she used to drive for years. She's one of those who went from um, green to gold, if you will. Um, and she worked out of Lewiston. She worked out of Lathrop. She worked out of Warupa, and she worked out of Troutdale. And even when she was a driver, she was like, "Yeah, dude. Once I got on at Troutdale, I just stayed there."
Right.
And
It's weird. It's like a hidden gem.
like the trust I have with these people, Charlie, the nature of that trust was they would say, "Well, we need you to we need a load to go up to the Seattle area, and the NYK loads, the target loads,
Yeah.
they get planned as they come in." And they would tell me, "Now we know we should have two more of those today. So by the time you get up there, we should have one for you." Now, most people, their radar goes up like, this is one of those minor
Right.
specials, right?
That old trick.
No, I would, by the time I got up to Seattle and unloaded, they would have one of those target loads going to Pueblo.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But that took years of building trust between us. When we say build relationships, Charlie and I have been at Swift long enough to where literally I'm talking about almost 2 decades of building relationships with these people.
Right.
So you wonder why I never really had issues staying moving, right? Call it what you want. Oh, that's just, we had a guy the other day. Well, that sounds too much like kissing butt to me. And I'm like,
Right.
you know what? If you're a business owner and there's revenue involved, I'm
Hey
kissing
now.
butt. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
look at.
Yep.
But you know it's funny. Jason, sorry, I'm gonna come to you here real quick. Jason said, when you get a DL, do you have an interview with them so they know your business plan? So here's the funny thing about that. I've known OOCs, owner operator consultants. I've known driver leaders, driver managers, whatever the hell you want to call them. There is a difference, but let's just put them all into the same thing right now. I've known some that absolutely go out of their way to talk to a new contractor and say, "Hey, what is it you're after? What do you need to know?" Those people are few and far between.
Yep.
And I don't know of many that are left right now. Um, but you as a business owner should be going out of your way to have that conversation with them. I've interviewed other OOCs, when I was thinking about making a move out of Troutdale to other terminals, had conversations, said, "Hey, this is my normal routine. What do you expect from your people on your board? This is what I expect from the support people that I'm going to work with. Is that going to jive? Let's talk it out. These are my goals. What are your goals? What are the things you need met to keep your boss happy, right? And if I'm willing to do that, then okay, we can move forward. And if not, if either side is not okay with it, then we negotiate, we work it out, or we move on. But far too many people, I can't even count the number of people that I've seen that were brand new contractors said, they've been out here for 3 months, have no idea who their OOC is, what an OOC is, don't know their name, have never seen them, have never been to their home terminal. Baffling. Then there's the ones that don't know what the mileage contract even is, how much they're going to get paid per mile.
Yep.
Baffling. I mean, these are all basic business things that you should take upon yourself as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. If you're not taking these things upon yourself to find some sort of resolution or information or to get a feel for it, why the hell do you expect someone who has no real interest in your business to do that for you?
Right.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And that's why we have one of our taglines, that we use in marketing and the website and stuff is stop paying for a job and start owning your business.
Right?
Too many people are out here just paying for a job. And
I had a
I don't mean, hey, you leased a truck. That's bad boy for leasing a truck. That's just the cost of doing business. But take ownership of your business. Be responsible.
So years and years ago, many VP of the owner operator divisions ago, there was a guy, Brian Dudley, who was a VP at the time. Jordan Bean was the guy. He was the gatekeeper for who Jordan Bean, the pretty man down there in Phoenix with his muscles and perfect beard and hair and whatever. That guy, who runs the mentor program now. He was a pit bull. He was a junkyard dog. And many times I was trying to get to Brian Dudley to talk about something because he was the man that needed to make the decision. Why am I going to ask three people below him and they're going to have to get the person above them to say, "Yeah, we could ask that." And then they got to go to their boss. "Yeah, we could ask that." Yeah. No, I don't want to ask Brian Dudley that. Well, so I always just try to get to Brian Dudley, right? Joran, that dude, man, uh gatekeeper extraordinaire. That dude was good at stopping me from getting to Brian Dudley. It was pretty amazing. And Jordan and I had a not good relationship for quite some time because I looked at him as an adversary and he looked at me as someone to keep away from his boss. Jordan and I had a conversation last week when I was in Phoenix. We were sitting down at a table by the Jake, and both of us took a little time, and it was funny because we've come to this place kind of simultaneously where we're more reflective upon the things we've done, how the outcomes have come from those things, and what could we have done differently. And both of us have come to a point where now when we see conflict with someone else, like if Jeff and I are having a conflict, we're having a disagreement about something and we just aren't getting there at all, we're just button heads, right? Rather than say, "Oh, Jeff's an idiot," I now am trying to say, what can I do differently in this conversation? What view am I not seeing that Jeff has or feels so strongly about that I am dismissing, right? I need to look deeper in me. I need to look deeper in my business. So, see the transition there? Uh, to understand why my business is suffering. Why is this relationship suffering? Why is this conversation so damn hard? What can I do? What perspective can I change? What changes can I make to my business today that are going to change it tomorrow and next month for the better? It all comes from reflection. We're all too quick to point, and these three are pointing back at me, right?
That's why we do
It's
the knife hand.
that's right. But that's offensive now, they say in the army. You cannot do this. What I'm saying right here is you can't do this anymore because people have soft feelings, whatever. Get over it. Anyhow, um, but no, man. I mean seriously, and I'm really trying to be genuine here. Step back. Take a look at you. Take a look at your relationship, how you play a part in that relationship. And this goes for everything in your life, your love life, your friends, your business, your job, what have you. If things aren't going the way you want them there, what is there you can do to make that better? And Jordan and I just, it was probably one of the best conversations Jordan and I personally have had together. And at the end, we're like, man, we wasted so much time fighting each other when we could have become friends and spoken to each other completely. Both of us took the wrong stance and we could have gotten so much more done so much earlier. It's crazy. And we wasted all that time, energy, and effort for what? Pride? I want to be right. He's stupid. He's too pretty. He wasn't as pretty back then. I'm just going to say it. He's grown into it, but whatever. Don't judge me. I can look at a dude and be like, hey, he's a good looking dude. That's not weird. Shut up. It's new times, yo. I'm comfortable. Anyhow, let's go to chat. Uh, sorry. Oh, I starred one. What was that? Oh,
Did you?
Chris
Let me
Hamilton.
just.
I'm gonna come back to yours. I starred one, and I'm gonna come back to that. Yep. Chris said the fuel surcharge is 0.434 for you Swift guys this week. 10 cents on the West Coast. Fuel prices dropped again this week. Lame, whatever. Uh, Jim's on the target load to Pueblo right now.
Yep. It's a good load.
Army King said, I went reefer at Swift. My deal and OC was the same person. First conversation, he gave me the wrong contact number when vacation went out, ever letting me know. That sucks. Not a great start. I feel you. Mark said, Ocala, driver leader OC, Ron English, uh, who's deceased now. Tom Burke was promoted. Sue Smith promoted. Rob Matten, current. Yeah. Mark had great relationships with all these people.
Yeah.
Just saying. Um, Army King said Sue Smith was great at helping me out, and my regret was giving Deal a second chance. It's a thing. We learn from every mistake we make. Hopefully,
Right.
right? Failure is not failure when you learn from that failure. That makes sense. I think so. Follow along. There's a dot to follow. Whatever. I can't draw you a picture. I don't have any purple crayons. Don't be a Marine, is what I'm saying right now. I just lost somebody there, I'm sure. Somebody clicked out of it, I'm positive. I want to go to Chris's starred one. Oh, Angie Parrish always calls to check in every few days if I don't call her. That's what Chris Hamilton said. That says OC. Okay, Chris Hamilton had this one. Also want opinions on end of lease. I'm 55. Looking at 10, 11-year retire, keep current truck, run for a couple after payoff, or a new truck after this, run for a couple years at end. That's a lot of that's a longer conversation than we have time for here, Chris. What I'm going to say, I'm going to send you a link to a podcast we did that I think might help you with this topic.
Right.
We had a really good conversation with a dude, Brian Jess, one of our members, who, and I think that you will get some insight there. But of course, Jeff and I are willing to talk to you anytime, Chris. You know that. So feel free to hit us on the side if that's what you want to do. I just think it's too much time for here right now because that is a very loaded question and there's a lot to unpack in all of that. And there's
Hmm.
that here's if you want a quick answer, it depends.
I could tell you what the deciding factor is if you make the decision to buy the truck out. That first year that you own it and you don't have any payments, take your payment and put that in a savings account
Yep.
against the maintenance. Because y'all know my story. Instead of doing that, I spent that money moving my family to Utah. Right. If I hadn't have done that, I would have had enough money to fix the 16 and I wouldn't have had to lease another truck to stay in business.
Right.
So as long as you have a plan to maintain it, the profit on a used truck that's paid for is so much more than having payments. Even just having no payments for 2 years absolutely elevated my family's standard of living. So you look at it that way. Um, so yeah, we could talk strategy, time frame, what you feel comfortable with. I get that a lot of guys don't like doing that because of the breakdown issues as the
Right.
truck gets older. I get that. Um, some of it's also going to depend, Charlie, on the health of the truck you're in.
Oh, absolutely. TK, look, this is funny. So TK was actually one of Jeff's students. Jeff was his mentor when he came to Swift.
Hmm.
This is hilarious to me
One of my last
because,
students.
right.
So I was
And
really grumpy and salty with him. So
so TK was struggling as a contractor, and I mean severely struggling. Um, and he was referred to me from Michelle Cantrell. And I told Jeff, like, yeah, I'm talking to this guy, Tashombi, TK. He's like, wait, what? I know that guy. I trained that guy.
I
Why
told
the
him
hell
not
did
to
he
lease a
call
truck.
me? Yeah, I told him don't even lease a truck, bro. And we did a lot of work with TK, and TK ultimately ended up going to another carrier. Um, we don't talk as much as I wish we did, and I apologize for that. It's all my fault. It's fine. Um, yeah, he said myself, I didn't make money as a lease guy in the beginning. But that was my fault because I didn't run the way I should have, and it took Michelle to introduce me to Charlie. I was running like a company driver and not paying attention to the fact I needed to learn where and how to get fuel, where to get fuel. Uh, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things to learn, and too many people come into this thinking, "Oh, I'm a great company driver. I could be a contractor and just make more money." It's not how it works. Completely different mindset. Completely different way to run the truck.
Hmm.
What's up? Hey me, hey me, hey me, hey me,
Hey,
hey me. Yeah. Look, Jeff told me not to do it until I've been there at least 2 years. I'm just saying, PK didn't listen.
he's all right now though.
Yeah, we like PK. He's my brother from another mother. Every now and then, he's the one that
But
turned me on to full time, not
here's
full time,
another
Filiberto.
guy too though that you know he had that tenacity to, man, I'm really suffering, but instead of just turning his keys in, what did he do? He said, hey, I'm suffering. How do I change this? He didn't just give up.
Oh, and look, I straight up told him, maybe you should. Maybe you should just quit, bro. Just throw it in. Why bother?
Why
Right?
bother?
And and that was a test in and of itself, Do you want to fight for this or you just want to quit, man? Look, I'm not going to think anything less of you, honest to God. Some people should not do this. There are people out there absolutely right now should not be doing this thing that we do.
Hmm.
But they're doing it. Some are doing okay, some are falling on their face, some are thriving, right? By the skin of their teeth somehow they are doing well. Baffling. Can they maintain it? I don't know. Time will tell. I'm not a fortune teller. I can tell you the odds are not in their favor because even now they're not learning to run the business and they don't actually understand the money that they're making or if they're actually making money,
Right.
and these are things that as an entrepreneur, as an actual business owner, you need to be able to answer these questions. And if you can't, or maybe you don't even know to ask the questions.
Well, Charlie, how many times do we say we don't know what we don't know?
I said it today in our coach call.
Yep.
I was asked a very specific question. What is it you want from these coaching sessions? Because Jeff and I have a coach. And I said I couldn't answer the question because I don't know what I don't know about the things we're trying to learn. And that's hard for me. That's like me saying I can't do something. Tell me I
Hmm.
can't do something. You want the quickest way to see me do something? Tell me I can't do something. Don't give me some random crap in the chat right now. Stop it. That don't count. I'm talking about real things, important things. You know, tell me I can't climb a tree with my broken back and my stupid arm. And man,
I'm
I
not.
will,
I'm not. I'm not telling you that because I don't want to be responsible for you, and you
you
know,
know,
Rosie
I
will
will
hurt
figure
me.
out a way to get up it or I will hurt myself trying. It's stupid. But you know what I mean? So for me to say I can't do this or I don't know how to do this, that's tough for me. But I think most of you that know Jeff and I well, when we don't know the answer, we'll tell you we don't know the answer. We will learn the answer. We will find the answer and we will come back to you with the answer, bring you the person that gave us the answer if that's what we have to do. Would you rather have that or would you rather have someone blow smoke up your butt?
Oh, hey, Charlie, this might be worth an out of route experience, out of route for you. Matt
Look,
Nissen. Matt Nissen, you won't come meet me to get a hug?
I
Matt
would,
Nissen's offering
bro.
hugs.
I but you know what? On this load, we're not even allowed to stop and get fuel on this load.
Oh,
That's how time sensitive this load is.
so I'm going through hazmat, right? So by the way, I'm just gonna say, all you guys that told me about this, I was wrong. Since 2022, if you're a first-time hazmat applier, application, whatever,
Yeah.
you have to take a class that's certified by FMCSA. Now, I found an online class that I paid 99 bucks for, and it took me about 2 days to get through the material and pass the test. And then they automatically report that to FMCSA, which then allows me to take the state hazmat test for the endorsement. So everybody, if you're wanting to get hazmat, you got to do a class before you can even take your state test.
Jeff, you need to go see TK because TK is apparently in Thule, Utah, and needs a PM done at the TA and wants to know about their work. Jeff,
They do good work if you can get in. If you need a PM, there's a Speedco right across the street. Just saying. The TA here in Tooele, for some reason, has had a hard time keeping like techs on board. They're always shorthanded, and they last couple of times I've been there, they were like, "Yeah, we just had tech quit yesterday, so it'll be like a day before we can get to you." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to Speedco."
I'm stirring the pot. You guys are only 10 minutes apart, TK and Jeff. Just saying. If you're at
That
the
is
TA
true.
in Thule, then you're only 10 minutes apart. Just saying.
Tooele, yeah.
Yeah, Thule.
So anyway,
Chile Reno.
so this class I took though, Charlie, we were talking about it earlier.
Right.
So I was kind of not happy with it because I'm like, come on, man, I just got to take the state test. Everybody passes it. Just give me my dang hazmat. But I got to tell you, this class, I learned some stuff.
Right.
You know, I actually, and it's not covered in just your state hazmat certification, by the way. All the things that you actually have to do for like explosive and this and that, they go into detail. So I learned that when you're hauling class 7 radioactive, this was interesting to me because I would never want to do that, by the way, just so you all know. That's not in my so you have to have your load pre-tripped by a certified inspector before you can leave the shipper. You're required to file your route plan with your carrier, the shipper and consignee, and the government. If you deviate from that route plan, you must file an amendment and let them know where you went and why. Those loads are some serious business, dude.
Right. I don't want to do them.
I'm sure they pay really well if you're willing
Yeah, I
to
still
do it.
don't want to do them.
But yeah.
Mm.
Well, I think about living in Utah. I mean, I spent a lot of time here anyway because being in Oregon, all those nuclear waste vessels
Right.
that you see on I-80 going out to the desert where they store the stuff. So
Right.
those guys, that's some serious stuff there, man.
It's like those big giant steel casks with the little ball of radioactive in it.
Yeah, Kathy, that was as of 2022. That's a new rule as of 2022 is what I learned. And here was what drove me nuts, because the reason I had the opinion I did, Charlie, was I'd looked into hazmat even a year ago, right? And I didn't see anything on the state website about having to take this class.
Right.
So then I go get my fingerprints done and all that stuff, and I'm doing the application for the hazmat. And they're like, "Oh, have you taken the class?"
You're
What
like, the
class?
what?
I would have done it if I would have done it
What?
a week ago if I would have known about it.
Right.
So it was pretty
It's a
harmless. It
thing.
just cost $100, you know. But yeah, that is a new rule, unfortunately. What I don't know,
Seriously?
and Charlie's gonna find this out. Charlie, you used to have hazmat and
Correct.
you let it go. So I'm
Yes.
wondering, since it's not a first time hazmat certification, if you have to do that.
I'm gonna find out.
Because I
I'm
think a
curious
lot of
too.
people have done that. They've gotten hazmat because Swift paid for it, 10 years ago. So they just got it and then never used it. And like, this is stupid. I don't need this. And so they let it go. So if they need it again, do they have to do the whole thing, or do they count for having it before? It's kind of an interesting thing. If anybody knows the answer to that, by the way, by all means, let us know.
Biohazard Hamey, Flying J parking lot. Just saying. Uh,
Oh
yeah, all trucks are hazmat areas.
dude,
Matt
you
said,
man, people that don't drive trucks don't understand, Charlie. Especially in the summertime, you get out of the cab in
"Oh my
some of these
gosh,
truck stops, and the smell of ammonia is so strong
I
that
think you
my
could just
eyes water.
make your own def off of the steam coming out of the parking lot." Just saying.
Sometimes, yeah.
um, yes. Jim, I think we just touched on that. I hope you just heard that. You should be catching up right about now. Uh, I won't fit in your duffel bag. You be quiet, Matt. Don't be
I
mad.
don't know. Matt's a giant, so he's got a big duffel bag though.
Oh my God, you should hear the jokes that just flew through my head right there, and
Green giant.
none of them were appropriate, and it was all hilarious. And I am dying on the inside right now, and I'm gonna have to move on. Oh, yes, you will, he said. Whatever, man. Whatever. Sheesh. Anyhow, you guys, we're coming up on the end of our 2 hours. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on real quick here at the end, if not, throw it down there in the comments, hit the button. If you're watching this and you've never watched us before, let us know in the comments or hey, throw it in the chat over there, wherever it is. I don't know where it is on your screen because we're on a different thing.
Are we on?
Pointing all around.
Are we on both platforms today?
Yeah.
So we're on
Yes,
both
we are.
Facebook Live and YouTube's.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, TK. Um, keep taking the Bush factory and get him canned. Sorry. Oh my gosh. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Check us out. We're not always quite so. Yeah, we are. I'm lying.
Well, we are the
We're,
two jack wagons on YouTube.
we're like this most weeks. We like to talk business. We like to goof around. Uh, you know, some people love us. Some people hate us. Some think I'm a complete moron and Jeff is the brainiac. And then some people think I'm a brainiac and Jeff's a moron. What's funny is Jeff and I usually say the same thing, just a different way, but it's the same point. I'm just saying.
What's really entertaining though is when we do disagree,
Right.
because we'll do that in front of everybody.
Right.
And then we'll let you guys, if we still disagree at the end, we'll just let you guys decide what's best for you.
Right.
Because it's two different opinions on something. Yeah,
One way to skin a cat.
yeah. I mean, there's that. I think that's one of the things that get people into this industry, and is kind of one of the reasons why so many people fail. There are so many ways to make money in the trucking business,
Bless you,
and
Donna.
if you can get your hands on a truck and a way to get loads, you're profitable the very first week. That is true. The question is, what then?
Right.
Now, especially if you're leasing from a mega carrier, most mega carriers, if they're leasing you a truck, they give you a couple weeks without payments. You're feeling pretty good. You're making good money, and then the payments start. Oops.
Right. For real. Uh, we haven't talked about insurance in a long time. Hey, if you're a Swift guy and you're on Swift's insurance and you're not a mentor and you want to get rid of that camera, if you go down there, right down there, 800-366-6466, give them a call at Seabright. Have pages 7, 8, and 10 in your hand from your equipment contract when you call them, because they can give you a pretty good price there. I think that you'll find that they will charge you less than what you're currently paying at Swift. And I think they could probably beat a good deal of people out there that aren't at Swift and have their own insurance. Give them a call, mention Contractors Corner to them. And you know what? I bet they give you a pretty good rate. Just saying. Uh, I think they can pretty much offer anything in the trucking sphere. Uh, First year authority, I don't care where you go, is stupid expensive. It's ridiculous. I don't know. I think they're competitive to the major market on that part, but I think you'll find that they're more than competitive on most of the other insurances. And they've got insurances that other people don't even have,
Right.
created by them for us. Just saying. Give them a
Based
call.
on based on experiences that we've had in the industry
Right.
as truck owners and drivers, little holes that we didn't know
Yep.
existed.
800-366-6466. And Trucker CFO, that's our choice for accounting people. Get rid of that 800-pound gorilla. Go down to a 300-pound gorilla. He wants to eat. He will do some good work for you. Again, maybe it's the right fit for you. Maybe it's not. Maybe you like the 800-pound gorilla. Power to you. Do your thing. Just saying there's options out there. A lot of people don't know if they even have options that they can get a different accountant. Baffles me there too. Just saying. Throwing it out there. You guys do what you want to do. We are coming up on our time here. Jeff, we've got 5-ish minutes.
Yeah, give or take.
So yeah, you guys, if there's anything you want us to hit, let us know. Definitely hit the comments down below. And if you're watching this on the replay, we love you guys. Replay warriors, hey me. Even though you're here live
So,
right now.
so one thing I want to touch on real quick, Charlie, before we go. So we mentioned that we have a coach now.
Yep.
We have an actual business coach that's coaching us through some things. And here's who that's going to really affect is you guys that are in our community, our subscription service that we offer. He's helping us figure out how to better manage that and get better content out to you guys with the idea that we're going to relaunch in about 30 days to the general public again. And so keep an eye out for that. We're going to have some contests and things going on for referrals into that. So keep an eye on that. It'll be exciting times for everybody involved.
I'm trying not to call you out, James, but I'm going to call you out now just because you said it that way right here. I said that you will save more with Seabright for the insurance that Seabright offers for Swift drivers, and you say questionable on your end on the insurance from your math. Your math is wrong. I'm sorry, but your math was wrong. I showed it to you earlier in the chat. Send me your quote. Send me the insurance charges in your settlement, and I will break it down for you line by line and explain to you exactly what. And if I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. I'll come back next week and tell everybody, yep, I was wrong. James did some magical stuff. But I can already tell you that it, I know for a fact Seabright will save you money, James. There's no doubt in my mind. A savings is a savings. The average Swift contractor with a lease payment and a newer truck is saving between $200 and $300 a month in insurance. I don't know where you got your math. That's why I need you to send me the quote they sent you and the bottom half of your settlement that shows your insurance charges, and I will break it down for you. Uh, yeah,
So this is important, guys, because this has been coming up. A lot of you guys have noticed that your Swift, your IEL trucks have kind of been messed with over the last couple of weeks. They're enforcing the speed policy in the contract that we all signed. So let's just get that out there. They're enforcing the contract. So this isn't a gotcha. This isn't, hey, get back down there, you lowly driver, or anything. We signed the contract. So Matt spoke to Rapid, and this program was only put in effect last week on Wednesday, and they're going to do them in batches, but all trucks will be reprogrammed.
remember your contract says 6870.
Right. Now, if
There was an
I
old
suppose,
contract that said it had that smart drive that you could have 70
right.
72. They did away with that part of the contract.
Now, I did talk to one of our members that is really bent about this. It seems to be a sticking point for him, but you know what? It's a contractual item. So you got to decide, can you live with there's anything in the contract? There's things in there that Charlie and I are like, gosh, I wish that wasn't there, but it is, and we signed it. Question is, can you live with it? You have to decide that for yourself. If this is that big of a sticking point for you, I don't know, go find another contract. That would be owning your business.
Right.
And I told him, I get your opinion. I get what you're saying. His big concern, Charlie, was he doesn't like Swift controlling his truck like that. I get it. That's why I don't have a Swift camera. I have Seabright insurance, so I don't have to have a Swift camera. You got to decide, though. Can you
Right.
live with that thing?
All right, guys. On that note, we're going to call this thing a wrap. Once again, thank you for tuning in. seriously, it really does mean a great deal that you guys take time out of your week on Tuesday and you come hang out with us. Those of you in the private community, when we go live over there for little trainings and things like that, and you show up and you comment and you engage and you ask questions, it means a tremendous deal to us. It is huge to us. We need more engagement. We need you guys to get out there and spread the word. Tell people what's going on around here. Tell people what's going on in that private group. Tell people what's going on in the private Facebook group. Um, Help us reach more people. And by doing that, we will increase our knowledge base as a whole, as a community. It will make us all better business people. So, with that being said, we'll see you next Tuesday right here, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be home for that one. I'm pretty excited about that. In my chair with my airborne stuff behind me instead of this curtain. I hate this curtain. It's weird. And people driving by me in trucks freak me out. People
That
walk by.
almost
I'm like,
sounded like
I gotta
someone
watch them.
backed into you.
Right? I know, right? There's an Amazon truck with a container or something.
Oh,
Anyhow,
okay.
smash those thumbs up like Chris Hamilton said. You guys, thanks so much. We're gonna see you next Tuesday. Be safe. Take care of each other. Nobody's out here looking after you, us, but us. I can't talk. And that's Jeff. I'm Charlie. Haven't said that in a while. I know it's right here. I can't. Oh, I was gonna try to point to yours. I'm like, oh, I can't reach over in your screen. Now that's funny right there. Anyhow, you guys, we'll see you next week. I got to push the button. I don't even know what's wrong with me. I'm just rambling at this point.